Welcome to Le Weekend, the bonus extended podcast episode for France News Brief. In case you missed one of our dailies, we've put together a convenient way to catch up on the stories from the past week in France, plus additional content about something related to culture, art, history, or current events at the end. If you enjoyed our daily updates, you'll find everything you need right here in a seamless recap of the week's most important headlines. Perfect for those who want to catch up in just one episode, Le Weekend is designed to keep you informed and engaged with a lighter touch at the end. Let's dive in. The news we covered on Monday. President Macron and other European leaders are joining Ukrainian President Zelensky for talks with US President Donald Trump. The visit comes after President Trump dropped his push for ceasefire following his Alaska summit with Russian leader Vladimir Putin, as reported by Le Monde. The busiest line of public transport in the Paris region, which connects the region from east to west, was paralyzed on Sunday by a broken overhead line. Dozens of passengers evacuated from the track who got off on the RER A line and were forced to walk along the railway in single file, as reported by Le Figaro. France called for the release of a French embassy employee arrested in Mali under suspicion of intelligence activities. The foreign ministry said the accusations were baseless, as reported by RFI. French Minister for Environmental Transition Agnès Pannier-Runacher said she was disappointed and angry after negotiations for a treaty against plastic pollution failed in Geneva on Friday. The 185 countries participating in the meeting failed to agree on a binding text to combat plastic pollution, as reported by Le Figaro. The news we covered on Tuesday. President Macron proposed that President Putin and President Zelensky hold peace talks in Geneva, with US, European and Ukrainian leaders meeting in Washington to lay the groundwork for talks between Russia and Ukraine. President Macron suggested the Swiss city would provide a neutral setting for peace efforts, as reported by Le Monde. An investigation was opened following the death of streamer Jean Pormanov during a live broadcast today in France. Media regulator Arcom has contacted several European counterparts to find out more about the Kick.com platform. The regulator contacted Anti-Cybercrime Agency to verify whether the streamer had, in the past, requested the removal of content from Kick.com and whether the Australian streaming platform has a representative in the European Union, as reported by France Info. A French petition seeks to block the loan of the Bayeux tapestry to the British Museum in London. The petition attracted more than 40,000 signatures from people concerned that movement could damage the medieval relic, as reported by Reuters. The price of school supplies is falling, according to Famille de France. In 2025, the average shopping for back-to-school supplies will amount to €211, approximately $245, down 5.53% compared to last year. Sporting goods have recorded the biggest drop at 8.59%, as reported by Le Figaro. The news we covered on Wednesday. A man was arrested in connection to the investigation of dead bodies recovered from the Seine River. On August 13th, a passerby spotted a body floating in the Seine near Paris, and when firefighters and law enforcement inspected the area, they discovered 3 more submerged bodies. Prosecutors did not disclose how many murders the suspect is being questioned over after the arrest today, as reported by Le Monde. President Macron issued a firm response to Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, who accused him of fueling anti-Semitic sentiment by calling for an international recognition of the State of Palestine. The office of the French presidency condemned the Israeli Prime Minister's remarks, calling the accusation wrong and despicable, as reported by France 24. The platform, created by a major football league, LFP, and owned by the clubs, has been well received by viewers thanks to its reasonable prices and the quality of its editorial content. The Ligue 1 Plus platform already has 600,000 subscribers at the end of the first weekend and is aiming to reach 1 million, as reported by Le Figaro. French Air Force Acrobatic Squadron Patrouille de France performed an aerial display over Paris around 3 p.m. as part of the Journée des Oubliés des Vacances, a solidarity festival attended by 40,000 children who don't have the opportunity to go on vacation, as reported by Le Parisien. The news we covered on Thursday. French business activity almost grew for the first time in a year in August, outperforming expectations according to a monthly survey showing signs of stabilization in the Eurozone's second biggest economy after a sustained period of contraction, as reported by Reuters. A French court dismissed a genocide case against Rwanda's former First Lady. Paris judges today threw out a case accusing Agathe Habyarimana, widow of Rwanda's former president, of involvement in the 1994 genocide, making it highly unlikely she will ever face trial in France, as reported by Le Monde. The protest movement Bloquons Tout, Let's Block Everything, which emerged in France in July, is calling for a nationwide shutdown on September 10th to oppose the austerity measures announced by Prime Minister François Bayrou, as reported by RFI. A minor scare affected an Air France flight en route to Corsica. The airline said that 5 people were injured on a flight between Paris and Corsica that encountered severe turbulence, as reported by Le Figaro. The European automotive sector will not be subject to additional tariffs by the United States. Washington and Brussels have presented the details of the Trade Framework Agreement. The automotive sector is expected to be taxed at 15% rather than 27.5%. This exemption does not apply to wines and spirits, as reported by L'Ageffi. The news we covered on Friday. The death of an abused French streamer was not the result of trauma, according to the prosecutor's office. The French video streamer, who died during a live stream after days of abuse by other streamers, did not die as a result of trauma or the intervention of a third party, as reported by Reuters. French and German postal services suspended deliveries to the United States over tariffs. France's La Poste and Germany's DHL said today that they were imposing a number of restrictions on packages destined for the United States, citing unanswered questions and lack of time to prepare for new tariffs imposed by the Trump administration, as reported by Le Monde. French police arrested a park manager for refusing entry to Israeli tourists. Police arrested the manager of an activity leisure park in the Pyrenees Mountains for refusing entry to about 150 Israeli youth due to personal convictions. Prosecutors are deciding whether to charge the man with discrimination based on religion, as reported by Le Monde. French exporters are not giving up on the subject of U.S. custom duties on wine. French wine producers and exporters learned on Thursday that negotiations to exempt their products from the 15% U.S. tariffs had failed. However, they insisted that discussions with the United States should continue, as reported by France 24. French supermarket group Auchan fell victim of a massive hack. The company said that the data from hundreds of thousands of customers was stolen, but does not include bank details, passwords, or PIN numbers, although it advised customers to remain on the alert for phishing attempts, as reported by Le Figaro. You are listening to Le Weekend. Now that you're all caught up with the key headlines from the past week, it's time for a special bonus story. This is where we take a closer look at one of our most compelling topics, adding fresh insights with a lighter touch. And now for our bonus story for Le Weekend, we learn how the Moulin Rouge got its wings. The Moulin Rouge Cabaret, one of Paris's most iconic and legendary cultural institutions, has recently regained its motorized blades, known as wings in French, a thrilling restoration that echoes the spirit and grandeur of its storied past. This restoration event has stirred excitement among Parisians and visitors worldwide, reminding everyone why the Moulin Rouge remains a symbol of Parisian nightlife and joie de vivre. About the incident. The iconic motorized wings of the Moulin Rouge didn't just fall into disrepair, they actually fell off the building. In the early hours of April 25th, 2024, the windmill's blades, also called sails or wings, unexpectedly tumbled from their perch atop the cabaret onto the sidewalk more than 30 feet below. Fortunately, this happened after the evening's final show, so no one was injured. The fall also caused some damage to the front of the building, knocking off the first three letters of the illuminated Moulin Rouge sign, temporarily leaving it to read Lin Rouge. Authorities ruled out vandalism or foul play, attributing the incident to a technical failure, specifically a malfunction in the windmill's central axis mechanism. The blades are made from aluminum and wood, and although they are very well maintained with weekly technical checks, this failure was unprecedented in the cabaret's 135-year history. The Moulin Rouge management moved quickly to remove the fallen blades from the street and repair the damage. The blades were replaced very soon after, although the sails remained stationary for over a year due to delays in obtaining a new electric motor needed to rotate them and power the lighting. Finally, very recently on July 10th, 2025, the Moulin Rouge held a festive event to celebrate the return of its motorized wings and their first rotation since the accident. A new custom-made motor was installed and around 60 dancers performed the classic can-can outside, accompanied by fireworks, marking the revival of this symbol of Parisian nightlife. The restoration was widely celebrated, emphasizing the importance of the Moulin Rouge's wheels to Paris's skyline and cultural identity. Locals and tourists alike see the motorized wings as a beacon of the city's vibrant nightlife, much like the Eiffel Tower serves as a global Parisian icon. A little history of the Moulin Rouge. The Moulin Rouge was founded on October 6, 1889, the same year they gave Paris the Tour Eiffel in the context of the Universal Exhibition. Founders Joseph Oller and Charles Sidler set it up at the foot of Montmartre, Paris's bohemian hilltop district. The cabaret was created as Le Premier Palais des Femmes, the first women's palace, a place where Paris's diverse social classes could mingle freely. Oller and Sidler envisioned a venue alive with extravagant performances, rich decorations, and a lively atmosphere, providing an escape from daily life. The Moulin Rouge quickly became synonymous with both luxury and uninhibited fun. Within months of opening, it became world-renowned for introducing the modern French can-can dance, which started as a provocative, energetic routine performed by dancers wearing racy costumes. This dance embodied the rebellious spirit of the time and quickly became iconic. Early can-can stars such as La Goulou drew large crowds with their high kicks and infectious energy. Artists like Henri de Toulouse-Lautrec immortalized the cabaret through his posters and paintings, which helped spread the fame of the Moulin Rouge far beyond Paris. Toulouse-Lautrec himself was a frequent visitor, capturing the vivacity and sometimes scandalous nature of the performances and the patrons. Its history includes setbacks like the devastating fire in 1915 that destroyed the original building. The Moulin Rouge was rebuilt and reopened by 1925, enjoying periods of great artistic flourishing. The cabaret has seen legendary performers such as Maslinguet, Edith Piaf, Yves Montand, and Charles Aznavour grace its stage. Throughout the 20th century, the Moulin Rouge evolved but always remained dedicated to its roots, offering lavish revues known simply as féeries, featuring elaborate costumes, dancers, and music aimed at transporting audiences to a dreamlike world. Miss Tanguay, the legendary star of the 1920s, who not only performed there but also became its co-director, with her charm and powerful voice that became largely responsible for the cabaret's survival and prestige. She was known to hide her age and was beloved for her signature songs and elaborate performances. Toulouse-Lautrec's close relationship with the Moulin Rouge inspired some of the most iconic art related to Paris at the time. His posters of dancers La Goulou and Jeanne Avril became emblematic representations of the cabaret's energy and artistic contribution. The cabaret was a space where social boundaries blurred, allowing aristocrats, artists, workers, and touristic crowds to coexist in the same space, united by their love for music and dance. During World War II, despite difficult times, the Moulin Rouge remained operational, with performances by renowned singers like Edith Piaf giving Parisians a much-needed escape from the harsh realities of the occupation. But why is the Moulin Rouge such an icon? The Moulin Rouge embodies the carefree spirit and dazzling charm of Paris's Belle Époque, an age of art, music, and innovation. Its iconic red windmill has become a global symbol of French nightlife and culture. More than just a venue, it represents a fusion of history, art, and performance. Unlike exclusive theaters, the Moulin Rouge aimed to be inclusive, where people from all walks of life could experience a sense of community and celebration. Its legacy of daring performances, stunning costumes, and legendary artists sustained its reputation as a temple of entertainment. Its international fame was cemented by countless films, the most famous perhaps the 2001 Hollywood production featuring Nicole Kidman and Ewan McGregor. It also inspired art and literature in its continual role in shaping the cultural image of Paris as a city of romance and spectacle. What can you expect visiting today? Visiting the Moulin Rouge today is an immersive experience that combines the charm of historic cabaret with modern showmanship. The venue welcomes around 600,000 visitors annually who come to enjoy its lavish evening reviews. The dazzling Moulin Rouge facade welcomes you crowned by its famously rotating red windmill, the motorized wings you now hear about regaining their full glory, turning gracefully above the entrance, signaling the magic within. The interior flaunts Belle Époque style with opulent decorations, plush seats, and mirrored surfaces that create an ambiance of grandeur. A dining experience can be paired with a cabaret show, offering gourmet French cuisine and champagne. Expect dazzling costumes adorned with feathers, sequins, and rhinestones, intricate stage designs, and high-energy performances. The show balances glamour with theatricality, making every night feel like a celebration of Parisian joie de vivre. Beyond the performance, visitors absorb a slice of Parisian history and a sense of timeless entertainment that has endured for over a century. The motorized wings restored now add a renewed vibrancy to the cabaret silhouette, shining as a beacon of the nightlife and cultural heritage. Whether you've been many times or a first-time visitor, they signal the enduring allure of the Moulin Rouge. This story about the Moulin Rouge's regained motorized wings not only celebrates a technical and symbolic restoration, but also offers a journey through an institution that has made an indelible mark on global entertainment history. The Moulin Rouge remains an icon not just of Paris or France, but of the universal human spirit determined that the show must go on. Thank you for listening to Le Weekend, your one-stop destination for everything we covered this past week in France. Catch our daily France News Brief roundups of the main news in France every weekday, wherever you get your podcasts. Stay informed.